Flights of evacuees are leaving out of Kabul once again.
Houston is set to welcome Afghan refugees to a new life on U.S. soil.
We learned today that dozens of Afghan refugees are already here in Houston.
Sometimes when we have a big influx or a big crisis, it tends to become sometimes like a project. And this is not a project, these are people. When I came here initially, we had a lot of Burmese and Nepalese especially, who lived in apartments right across the street. Over the years, the clients have changed somewhat in their ethnicities. Maybe 3 to 4 years ago, we did have some people from Afghanistan who came to the pantry.
Refugees have been resettling in Houston since 1975. Houston Welcomes Refugees has been around since 2016, serving refugees. And pre-crisis, over 50% of the refugees that we served were from Afghanistan. So this is not a new situation. What is new is the pace that they are arriving at and the numbers that they are arriving at. So since August, when Kabul fell, over 5,000 people have fled Afghanistan and made Houston their permanent home.
Initially, we would find people in an apartment complex, sometimes without anything. They would be dropped by the resettlement agency who hadn't yet started their services. From our own pantry supplies, we started taking things to help them.
I've gotten to go into some apartments and they literally have nothing. They ask for a couch or just a place to eat, and they don't have plates or silverware or anything like that. It's heartbreaking.
A family that stands out is a family from Afghanistan. They arrived with one duffel bag for the entire family. When I say entire family, it's not exactly an accurate picture. They had to leave some of their children behind in Afghanistan. And while we're praying for them to be reunited soon, the odds of that happening quickly are very, very low. When they arrived, they needed help getting access to food, enrolling in school, helping the dad find a job, so they were able to afford rent in the upcoming months. Some refugees will experience the onset of symptoms of PTSD that were shut off while they were in survival mode.
There's been times just in the last couple of weeks actually where I've sat with a family and they've told me their story, and I've seen grown men sobbing, and it makes me even tear up now because, in their worst moments, they're inviting me into their space and their personal lives that have held so much trauma.
Refugees are fleeing for a number of reasons. People from Afghanistan, they're fleeing Taliban rule. Their lives are being threatened because maybe a family member or they themselves were helping our U.S. military as translators, as truck drivers, as engineers on military bases.
First Baptist got involved in being able to get some food kits together through the Life Bible Study classes. Things like flour and oil and sugar and salt and a cutting board and a cloth to put on the floor because traditionally they eat sitting on the floor. We were able to get a bunch of those from the different LBS classes, and that's still ongoing. We've had people that have been so generous in donating couches and tables and mattresses and all manner of big things, and we need people who drive trucks. So we have a whole truck ministry, I guess, where and oftentimes when that happens, just like Christy was saying, she actually did that, is the person or the family will ask you to take tea. Tea is pretty universal, and people are thankful for what they get, and so they just want you to sit down and enjoy a cup of tea with them.
People are using all their skills. They're creating spreadsheets and gathering people to send out.
It's more than just giving them shower materials, sponges, things like that. It's building true friendships, and friendships that can be a bridge to sharing the gospel.
The Bible teaches us to love our neighbor, and so they are our neighbors. I'm here to love you, to care for you, and we're not leaving. We're not going to just be here today and gone tomorrow. So we're in it for the long run. There's many people who haven't been doing ministry among different refugees. I said, they know we're Christians, and they're like, how? And I said, well, they know. If somebody will say something that's happening, and you say, oh, that reminds me of a story in the Bible. For me, it's to pray with somebody. They have obviously all these big needs, like there's many women who are pregnant, and I say, can I pray for the safe delivery of your baby? And they're like, oh yeah. So you can imagine coming from where they have come from, in order to have a relationship with Jesus would often mean that you're going to die or a family member is going to die. So they're not willing to just jump into that situation right off the bat. They're seeing something that they haven't seen in their own countries. They've never seen a bunch of people come and deliver food and come at all hours of the day and night to provide, whether it's a warm coat or some tea so that they can enjoy, a cup of tea.
Deuteronomy 10:18-19 says, God defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow, loving the foreigner residing among you, giving him clothes and food. Welcoming refugees gets you out of your comfort zone. You might feel inconvenienced or stretched, but this is good for your soul.
Pray that we would have opportunities to sit and to build these relationships and to have tea, and to have people invite us into their homes. There's a lot of trauma, and so praying that people can just come alongside them and support them.
Pray for the refugees. They are coming here. They are new to our country. They're facing many challenges. So just pray for strength and energy for them and soft hearts as they make new friends.